Recycling Expose, Truth Behind Recycling Series, Module 3. We are here today to pull back the curtain on the system that makes us think that we're saving the planet while quietly it's sabotaging our efforts. And fair warning, once you see what's really going on, you can't unsee it. But I promise you, that's a good thing. Because the more you know, the harder you are to manipulate. And today, we are reclaiming your power. Why this matters? Well, this matters because information is one thing corporations can't fully control. The systems we're talking about thrive on you not knowing, on you assuming everything's fine, on you believing your tiny part doesn't make a dent. The truth is, your awareness is a threat to the status quo. When you see the game for what it is, you're able to make different choices. You can buy smarter, waste less, push your system for change, and don't fall for the trap. Every purchase you make, every conversation you have, and every time you refuse to play by their rules, it adds up. And here's the thing, you do not have to be perfect to make an impact. You just have to stop being an easy target. This class gives you the clarity to do exactly that. And once you know, you can never unknow. And that is the point. Waste gone wild. Let's start with the stuff that we can see. The jaw-dropping, ecosystem-choking, wildlife-killing chaos that happens when waste escapes the bin and runs wild. This is where garbage becomes a global traveler, drifting across oceans, invading animal habitats, and showing up in places humans should have never touched in the first place. From floating trash continents to deadly fishing gear ghosting in the sea, this section is all about the waste that we did not keep under control and the devastation that it leaves behind. Garbage islands. Picture the Maldives, but made entirely out of shampoo bottles, flip-flops, and fishing nets. These islands form when ocean currents called gyres trap floating debris in endless loops, and they create nations of trash. These floating garbage patches are bigger than some countries, and no, you can't stand on them. They are dense soups of plastic, fishing gear, and everyday waste that we've abandoned to the ocean. The largest so far is twice the size of Texas. Plastic is forever. Plastic does not go away. It doesn't rot. It doesn't fade. It just breaks into smaller and smaller pieces until it's inside fish, salt, and even our bloodstream. And brains. Yes, like your actual literal brain right this second. This isn't tomorrow's problem. It's already here in your brain. Ocean chokehold. Sea turtles, seabirds, and whales die with stomachs full of bottle caps, lighters, and bags. This death is slow suffocation and starvation, while all looking like normal ocean surface from above. Hard not to get choked up with that one. Creatures of the dump. From elephants in Sri Lanka to bears in Canada, animals are raiding trash sites like all-you-can-eat buffets. But here's the plot twist. Our waste isn't exactly five-star cuisine. Plastics, toxic chemicals, and sharp scrap metal cause slow, painful deaths. And the more they get used to human trash, the more they depend on it, creating a cycle of dependence and danger. A toxic buffet. Landfills are just eyesores. They are open-air feeding grounds for animals. From elephants to gulls, wildlife is swallowing our scraps, chasing a diet of plastic, batteries, and rotting food. Death in plastic. Animals get trapped, poisoned, and cut open from the inside. A single plastic bag in a cow's stomach can block digestion until she dies. These aren't isolated cases. They're happening daily around the world. Broken balance. When animals start relying on trash instead of natural food, the whole ecosystem warps. But it's a dependency built on poison, and it spreads disease to wildlife and humans alike. Illegal dumping and ghost gear. When people don't want to pay disposal fees, or when regulations are too loose, they just leave their garbage in nature's lap. Poison earth. Skipping disposal fees mean garbage ends up in the forest, rivers, and wetlands, leaking toxins into the ground and water supplies for decades. Ghost gear. Nets that kill. Illegal dumping poisons soils, pollutes waterways, and spreads disease. Out at sea, it's even scarier. Fishing gear that's lost or dumped is called ghost gear, and it keeps killing long after it's been abandoned. One net can strangle and drown hundreds of marine animals over decades, if not thousands. No rescue. Recovering this gear is expensive and dangerous, so most of it simply gets left to drift, becoming permanent death traps in the ocean. The hidden footprint. Now that we've looked at runaway trash, it's time to dig in the waste that we think we've dealt with, the stuff that we pat ourselves on the back for donating or passing along. This is the waste that hides in good intentions. Donation bins overflowing, thrift stores swamped, and developing nations buried under our cast-offs. We're about to see how an overloaded secondhand system turns generosity into a burden, and why fixing it means rethinking the whole pipeline. Donation overload. When it comes to clothing donations, the truth is brutal. Thrift stores reject more than they can sell, and the rest becomes another form of waste. Overflowing bins, thrift stores receive far more than they could ever process. Donations arrive in the mountains with no chance to sort, clean, or repair anything. The reject pile, up to 80% of clothing donations never make it to the sales floor. Why? Stains, tears, poor quality, and sheer excess. And yes, this includes the items people think are gently used. Hidden dumping. Unusable donations cost charity money in disposal, so many partner with textile recyclers, but a shocking amount still heads straight to landfills, quietly turning charity into a costly burden. Charities can only handle so much. So before you donate, ask, is this wearable? Is this clean? Is this useful? Would I buy it myself? Secondhand saturation. Our closets aren't the only thing overflowing. The secondhand market itself is drowning. System clog. The surge of fast fashion has flooded donation pipelines with clothes designed to last just a few washes, not years. So sorting and selling these cheap garments drain resources. Fast fashion fallout. Thrift stores can't compete with the speed and price of new clothing, so secondhand racks fill faster than they empty. Shelf rot. Many donated items sit unsold until they've rotted out, meaning shipped to bulk buyers, textile recyclers, or more often than we'd like to admit, straight to waste facilities. Fast fashion floods the system. Your best power move is to slow down. Buy only what you love, thrift with intention, and repair what you own before replacing. Exported generosity. When we can't sell it here, we send it over there. And the reality is far from generous. Global dumping. Bales of unsellable secondhand clothes are shipped to developing nations under the guise of aid. In reality, we are exporting our waste problem under a different name. Local collapse. Cheap imported cast-offs undercut local textile industries, putting tailors and artisans out of business. We've all seen this. Burden shift. Host countries are left with piles of low-quality goods that they can't use or sell, forcing them to manage disposal at their own cost. This is not generosity. It's a transfer of the problem. We can't ship our waste problems abroad and call it generosity. Supporting local artisans and sustainable brands helps rebuild communities and keeps your impact where you can see it. And as a person not making it all the way from one paycheck to the next, I know this sounds like privilege, and it is. I know we can only do so much, but at least we can do what we can when we can. And I definitely find thrift stores to be cheaper than dollar stores. The corporate illusion. And finally, we're taking aim at the big dogs. The marketing departments, the PR campaigns, and the executives who spend millions making us feel like heroes of the story, when all the while they keep pumping out more waste than they could ever clean up. This is a section where we put names to the games. greenwashing, fake recycling claims, and products engineered to break. And then, most importantly, we'll show you exactly how to spot it, avoid it, and make it clear that you are not their sucker. Greenwashing 101. Some companies spend more money looking sustainable than actually being sustainable. Eco theater. Brands design entire ad campaigns to appear green. Think soothing colors, leaves on the packaging, and buzzwords like natural or eco-friendly, while making no meaningful change in sourcing, manufacturing, or waste reduction. It's like a costume party for corporate guilt. Spot it. Look for vague terms like eco-friendly, green, or natural with no proof or third-party certification. Avoid it. Check for concrete metrics, percentage recycled content, carbon reduction numbers, source detailing. If they can't qualify it, it's probably fluff. Call them out. Post publicly asking for specifics. Companies hate open questions that they can't answer without exposing the truth. Half-truth claims. You'll see vague language like made with recycling material, but maybe it's 5% recycled content or biodegradable, without mentioning that it needs an industrial compost facility to actually break it down. Looking at you, paper bag lunches and disposable dishes. Not all, but lots. These statements are engineered to just skate under the legal false advertising lines. You spot it. If it sounds impressive but doesn't give exact figures, assume the numbers are bad. Avoid it. Choose products with full breakdowns of material content and end-of-life recyclability, and call them out. Email or tag them, asking what percentage is recycled and where is it processed. Then share their silence or their weak answer. PR over planet. Sustainability reports often read like bedtime stories, carefully omitting the real metrics. They are very good at this. Many companies announce lofty goals for 2030 and 2050 while quietly amping up production and pollution in the present day. To spot it, if all the action is decades away, it's a stall tactic. Avoid it. Support companies with near-term goals, 1 to 5 years, and transparent progress updates. And call them out. Demand proof of current changes, not distant promises. Logo trap. That little triangle on the back, the plastic one, it doesn't mean what you think. Symbol scam. The chasing arrow symbol is not a guarantee of recyclability. In many cases, it simply identifies the type of plastic resin, some of which are nearly impossible to recycle in real-world systems. Spot it. Learn which numbers your local facility actually accepts. Most don't process number 3, number 6, or number 7, but it's all worth a shot. It's all up in the air. Avoid it. Buy in glass, metal, or plastic 1 and 2, and only if your local recycler truly accepts them. And call them out. Ask why these brands are using misleading symbols for materials they know won't be recycled. Unrecyclable reality. Plastic number 3, number 6, and number 7. Almost no municipal programs can actually handle these. Even the common number 1 and number 2 plastics often get downcycled into lower quality products that still end up in the landfill later, and it all really depends on the economy. So, to spot it, look for any product with mixed materials like plastic coated paper or multi-layered pouches. These are likely unrecyclable, or you'd have to tear them all apart. Avoid it. Choose single material packaging or bulk loose items. And please don't put your fruit and veggies in the plastic bags at the grocery store. You need to wash them either way, so there's no point wasting that plastic. And call them out. Tag or email brands. Why is this in a non-recyclable format when alternatives exist? Consumer blame. The system is made to make you feel responsible. And if you just recycle properly, the planet would be fine. Meanwhile, companies churn out billions of tons of new plastic every year, shifting accountability from themselves to individual households. Spot it. Any ad implying that it's up to you to fix the planet without mentioning their corporate responsibility. Avoid it. Support companies openly lobbying for systemic recycling reform, not just telling customers to do better. Call them out. Share corporate waste statistics whenever you see them blaming the public. Products designed for failure. They call it innovation, but really it's sabotage. Built-in obsolescence. Products are engineered with weak points. Parts that wear out quickly, batteries that die after a set number of cycles, seams that split, forcing repeat purchases instead of long-term use. This is profit by planned failure. Spot it. Ultra-thin parts, sealed batteries, and new models every 12 months. Avoid it. Buy from repair-friendly brands with long warranties. Call them out. Review and post about the failure points with photos and timelines. Repair blockers. Many devices are glued shut. Use proprietary screws or require specialized software so only the manufacturer can repair them, often at a price higher than buying new. It's not innovation, it's locking you into a buying loop. Spot it. If you can't replace the battery or open it without special tools, they've locked you in. Avoid it. Choose products with right to repair ethos. Check iFixit scores. Something found online, it is worth looking into. Call them out. Support right to repair legislation and tag brands blocking repair access. Disposability culture. The marketing machine convinces us that new equals better, even if the old one works just fine. Seasonal product lines, cosmetic updates, and style shifts make perfectly functional items feel obsolete within months, not years. Spot it. Seasonal colors, cosmetic updates, and limited editions without real functional change. Avoid it. Upgrade only when something feels truly improved with their usability or efficiency, or you just truly love it. And call them out. Post side-by-side comparisons showing that there's no difference except the price and the hype. That was a lot, I know. Why should we still care? Pretty clear, pretty obvious question now. But there's a lot of reasons. Some include slowing resource extraction. Every can, bottle, and textile that's reused or recycled means fewer raw materials ripped out of the earth. Even with inefficiencies, recycling slows mining, drilling, and deforestation. That buys us time. And in an environmental crisis, time is survival, and we are in an environmental crisis. Recycling protects what's left. Recycling diverts at least some of the waste from landfills, dumps, and incinerators. Even a partial win means fewer toxins in waterways, fewer wildlife casualties, and fewer methane emissions from rotting organic waste. And it keeps the pressure on. Opting out entirely sends the message that the system doesn't matter, that it's fine the way it is. And recycling and demanding reform, you show that there's public demand for better systems. And that demand is a lever that we can push together. How to do your best and stay sane? What can you do right this second? Buy less, buy better. The greenest product is the one that you never buy. Before purchasing, ask, do I need this? Can I get a ton of use out of it? Will it last? When you buy new, choose durable, repairable, and recycled materials. I like to wait a day before I purchase anything. You'd be surprised how much money I've saved that way. Learn to love secondhand, if you don't already. Who doesn't love secondhand? Clothes, furniture, tools, the secondhand market is a gold mine when you know what you're looking for. Every secondhand purchase keeps something in use longer and avoids feeding the fast fashion and fast manufacturing machines. Cut that plastic cord. Switch to reusable everywhere you can. Water bottles, coffee cups, grocery bags, bulk containers. Choose metal or paper over mixed material plastics. And always learn your local recycling rules and actually follow them to keep contamination down. Extra note for clothes and plastic impact. Clothes and plastic packaging dominate the waste conversation because they're everywhere, and the production has a massive carbon and pollution footprint. But that doesn't mean that other waste streams don't exist or matter. Electronics, food waste, paper, and metals all have ripple effects through the ecosystem and supply chain. The same applies the same principles apply for all of it. Buy thoughtfully, use fully, and dispose of responsibly.